I
It seems like it's going.
Okay.
Okay, it's gone.
Recording has started. Yeah, it has.
Here we go. Well, hopefully more people will join us.
Or not.
Yep.
It's been 2 years of problems, so let's hope.
Let's go through the thing.
Yeah, I'm really
Let's skip to
looking
it.
forward to talking with everyone.
Yeah.
Ah,
Shall we talk? Or are we listening?
well, we're waiting for more people to join, and then Dwayne was going to give an overview of his project and what he found and what he looked at, and then he's available for questions for everyone. Not sure.
Well, it looks like the complainers aren't going to complain. They'll come.
Well, we'll see. Let's give him another minute. Then I'm gonna let Dwayne
Okay.
about the. And then the thought was that we would post this right on the website.
Yes,
Oh.
on Saddle Peak. Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yes.
So no matter what, at least it will be available for everyone to look at. If they, have any questions, Dwayne will have walked through his findings, and there we go. Well, I guess you might as well get started, Dwayne.
Appreciate it, Dwayne.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. Real quick, I just wanted to give an overview. Me and Curtis Allen in our office met with the board earlier in the year. I'm not remembering the date off the top of my head, so my apologies. But what was discussed, there was a number of things that was discussed, but one of them that was discussed was uncertainty related to the reimbursement from the city. And if we truly got it, how we got it, and if it was spent. So we attacked that one because at least we could go after one thing. So we agreed to do, it was called an agreed upon procedure. And we called the Bozeman City Parks and Recs, talked to Luke over there. We got copies of the checks from the city. We went and looked in the homeowners association records and looked in the bank statements themselves and found the specific deposits that were in there, and then we tied them back to the ledgers that were, for the books for the homeowners association, and we found that the 3 checks that were deposited for the approximately $49,000 was put into the homeowners association account, and from what we can see, it was a reimbursement, so it was just based off of previous expenses. So, short story long, we went through and we reviewed it, and we confirmed in an unbiased opinion that that's truly happened. We are very comfortable that nobody took those funds, or, and to the best of what we can see, they're still in, a lion's share of that still in those accounts. So I'll open it for questions from there.
Hey, Dwayne, before we open it to questions,
Sure.
All right, my name's Scott Bossy. I'm on the board of the Harvest.
Yeah, you weren't able to make it to the meeting. Yeah,
I was not. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I think the scope of work that you were asked to perform included some additional items other than just the check from the city. And Barbara, maybe
The late fees and fines, and well, there was a whole big list of things that were big issues letters that Brad Bunker and Carl Keith wrote. And
Right.
so I sent those to you, and you thought the most serious things might have been the biggest amount of money was the amount of money.
Yeah, so we addressed that
Right.
question. We have not addressed those other questions.
But you went through 81 pages of documents doing
Right.
this. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
So wasn't one of the questions, didn't it relate to stormwater fees?
No.
That wasn't one of them?
No.
Okay.
No.
We can get to the other things. It would be a separate engagement, though.
Right. It's trace where the proceeds of 49,562 from the city of Bozeman were spent, dispersed. Trace late fees and fines to determine who was assessed such fees and if said fees were deposited into the bank account. These are the whole big list that the guy traced the
Add.
fees of over 7,500 from January to October 2022 that were deposited into the bank account. I mean, I think it's interesting, and we got the treasurer here, and I guess I don't understand where all these facts are coming from that they had on the letter. So you took the most serious one and the one that made the most sense at the time.
Right. So we could knock a big one out. That
Right.
was the decision that was made, anyways. And hopefully it helped rather than creating more questions. But I know how these go, so my apologies.
Dwayne, would your office, this is Lindsay, would your office be willing to do an annual, like if the owners decided that they wanted to do like more like a spot check audit where you would I'd send you all the books and you'd send deposit questions, ask for invoice.
Oh, like a full financial audit?
Like not a full one, but something that we do with a lot of our other associations is like a limited audit where they pick like 5-6 transactions a month for the whole year and have us provide it, and then you guys would provide feedback on if all those were correct. And do you guys do that?
We could take a look at it and see. I'd be open to it. I don't want to commit right now and then realize that we don't have the capacity for it. But we can talk about that, Lindsay. Absolutely.
Because I think we give that as an option. And I mean, in our other associations, it's about a $2,000 annual expense. So.
Well, and if you're just looking at selected expenses for the year and you're just tying them back, I can see that being reasonable, but if I could take a look at a sample, if I can, of what you're talking about, I don't want to misspeak.
Perfect. Thank you, Dwayne.
All right.
Could you tell us as the board and anyone else on this call about how many hours you spent on this audit and what it ended up costing?
The actual cost of this was about, if I look at my work in process, $2,300. I don't know the hours specifically.
Okay.
But I could get that for you. That's no problem.
We paid 5,000.
2,000.
Oh, 2,000.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah,
2,000.
we went up to 5, but the only invoice we've gotten was for the 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look at the exact amount, but
Oh,
Yeah, and I was just gonna bill the 2,000 or go with the 2,000 to be honest with you. But I can get you the detail. My billable rate's $250. The guy that was helping me was, you can't quote me. I think it's 130, 130 or 140. I apologize, but I can get it to you. Would you like that, Scott?
Well, the question I have is we got these questions from some concerned homeowners about various expenses, including the city's check, and we wanted you to take a look at all those items. So I guess my question would be, if we if we had you look at those additional items,
How much would it cost?
I think the board authorized up to $5,000 for this audit. Correct me if I'm wrong, Barbara or Mike or Lindsay.
Yeah, we offered up to 5,000.
I think we said, yeah.
I would like to have the board discuss this further because
Okay.
Well, they,
some,
go ahead.
some of these issues that are on this list, we may be able to address them ourselves and then re-audit what was given to us. Because Lindsay, you have information on all this, don't you?
Yes,
Oh, yes. I mean, I can give you,
Okay.
yeah, here
Okay.
it is. Here it
I
is.
could easily
I have a copy
do
of,
statements or just late fee only sheets so that you can see
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
came in and what we collected. I have all those sheets and it very easily is looked at and can be tracked.
So, like for instance, I don't want to take too much of your time, but like tracing the architectural fees and doing all that stuff, you can present that to the board. And if we have any questions on that, we can present it to our auditor. Because I think if you have the information, it should be available to us, and we should be able to review it ourselves.
Yep.
And if we feel comfortable with it, we'll go with it. If not, if we feel like there may be something further we need to do, we'll bring in the auditors.
Yeah.
I just think that would make a little more sense because some of these things, I'm not going to say they're nebulous, but if they're available and they're not, I mean, transactionally, it would be very difficult to screw around with them.
Correct.
So I'm not that good either, but let's just go from there.
Yeah, and Mike, I mean, we could do that at I could kind of show you some of those things at our next meeting and you could look through them and I can kind of, from our software and you can look at the bank statements and
Right.
check it all very easily.
Kind of like looking off the back of the boat. And then if we feel like we're a little uncomfortable, we can still go through that. We got the $5,000, I guess. We can go through and do some of this other stuff.
Yep. Okay.
Hey everybody, this is James. Do you mind if I have a quick word? I think one of the issues from the group of concerned members is a lack of transparency on this stuff. It states pretty clearly in the bylaws that all these records should be available to the membership, and that hasn't been provided to date. And I think that's one of the main things that's making that group uneasy. So I don't know if we're reading that bylaw section incorrectly or what. There,
James, can you be a little bit more specific when you said that these materials haven't been provided to the homeowners? Like what materials are you speaking of?
I haven't been the head rabble rouser, so one of the things that occurs to me is just invoices for work that's been done. How can we trace what's been spent back to the budget that's been provided?
So technically, and this is where we get a lot of questions, is what must an association provide? And particularly when you're a subdivision, not a condo owners association. Condo owners associations are held to a higher standard. So an association is bound, if you want to look at it, by the Nonprofit Act. That's 30-2-901. And really it starts at 904 to 907, really discusses what an association must provide. And then what an association can provide if there's good cause, and then they can bill whoever is asking for it. Because I will tell you, producing invoice. What's that?
Does that supersede our bylaws?
Yes, it can. In your bylaws, and I have done an analysis of this, I think your bylaws are even less lax. Your bylaws simply say I can't remember. I can pull them up. I have them right here. Do you remember which section, or I can pull it?
No,
we can talk about that.
I don't have that at my fingertips.
Let's see. I've got the bylaws. This is, and just so everyone knows, this is Chobe Sable's set. They're not great. They're pretty. Chobe was not known for being really specific. He was very, very general in his amounts. Let's see. Resolutions,
Yeah, I know.
assessments. And liens for foreclosures, quorum, voting interest, secretary. Is it under the secretaries? No. Board members, terms of replacement, committees, insurance covenants, officers, compensation, severability, interpret. Okay, so it's got to be buried in one of these. He
It's
doesn't have a
definitely
separate
buried.
section.
I didn't bring them.
You have them?
I didn't bring them.
Anyone find, if someone finds it, let me know.
Because Alana, what you've told us as board members in the past is that we are obligated under the Nonprofit Act to show the budget to anyone that requests it, detailed expenses
Right.
and income. And I'm not sure if there were any additional documentation that we're required to provide.
Membership list.
Membership list, okay.
Membership list, the last 3 years of any directors or annual meeting minutes, and membership list, and there's one, and your budget, and basically your accounting records. What I was going to say, James, is accounting records is a very specific thing, and Dwayne could maybe even roll in here, but I've actually hired experts to discuss what accounting records means pursuant to the Nonprofit Act. The Nonprofit Act was very specific when they put it in that they were not going to hold nonprofits to the level of corporations and for-profit companies. What they want nonprofits to do is be able to produce basically their P&L, or profit and loss, and that is their accounting records, their budget and their P&L, and nothing more.
That's simple.
I have told my association, I've told my associations for transparency that if the membership wants to pay for it, because it shouldn't come out of assessments. And the nonprofit also states this, is that they can charge the owner asking for additional information for the cost of producing that. Because to produce invoices and receipts, the actual ones, a lot of times they're stapled together, they have to be taken apart. It's actually fairly time intensive, and it can be done, but at a cost. And so I always, if someone asks for that, I always send back a standard letter that says, yes, we can provide that. We just need your reasoning, because under Montana law, we need good cause. And then we will give you access to everything, or we'll photocopy it. There's sometimes redaction that needs to take place. Like if we're actually doing bank accounts, we have to redact the bank account number. We redact for privacy the names of anyone paying typically a fine or something like that. So it can be a little intensive. And we give them the opportunity. And thus far, no one's taken me up on it for Harvest Creek. And I believe that that language is more detailed than what is contained in Joby's standard bylaws that I've seen.
Okay, well that's super helpful, Alana. Thank you.
And James,
Yeah.
one thing I will say as a board, since I've been keeping the minutes, when we were asked to be more transparent in publishing the minutes, we actually started doing a much better job of that early last spring, like in April. So as of today, all the meeting minutes that this board has had since last April are posted on the Saddle Peak Properties website under the Harvest Creek Owners Association.
Yeah, I've noticed you guys have done a much better job on that. When I bought my house here a handful of years ago, I just wanted to know what was going on, so I requested back meeting minutes, and I was told there wasn't any initially. I'm like, holy cow, okay, I see what we're doing.
Well, you're right. There weren't any, and there were not any for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so credit to you guys for improving. That's awesome.
Right.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Anything else, James?
No, I'm mainly just here to listen. Thanks
Okay.
for giving me my minute though.
James, you should, well, I mean, we sent out something for the board today. We've had a few different people apply, but I mean, I think this would be something that you might be really good at. And I mean, the board gets to see all the invoices and payments and bank stuff, so you could consider it for sure.
Okay.
Well, we actually have seen them since we all three of us all started, kind of. So we've all seen, and and we've agreed to most of the invoices, some of which we said no. So,
If we ask, we usually get.
and yeah, and we really get them from Saddle Peak every time we ask.
Any questions?
That's great to hear.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for our meeting.
Thank
Okay.
everybody.
Okay, thank you, Dwayne.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mike.
Let me know if you need any help, and I guess Lindsay, if you want to give me a copy of that report you're talking about, I'll bring it up with the
Yeah.
other guys. So
I'll send the,
Or a
I think it's called an RFIP or something, that we have with a couple other companies in town that we use, and then you can see what you think. But I think we give that as an option to the owners, is if they want to put that in the budget, and just we'll figure out what you think that might cost if we do that each year.
yeah, and it's looking at specific things each month, essentially 5 or 6 transactions a month, and then just looking at the detail on it.
Yep, and just providing, feedback that yes, all of these deposits went in. Here's you can see if there are late fees paid, and that everything matched the books versus the bank.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Okay.
Lindsay, could you stay on just so the board can
Yes.
have a little discussion about next year's budget with you, and Alana and Susan?
Yes, of course.
Need to be on, and
Right.
James. Thank you.
And thank you very much, James.
Okay. I'll leave.
Okay, guys.
Thanks,
Well,
James. Thanks, Dwayne.
James, you can share this information with your group.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day, guys.
Bye,
And
bye.
I'm no Teams expert, but I just want to make sure when Alana and I get off, it doesn't cut off Lindsay. So that's in Alana's capable hands. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay, bye. In fact, I was just about to say that. I think it doesn't matter if I leave. It's not like a Teams.
When I usually do
So
it, Alana, it asks me if I want to assign someone else as the manager. So you could always assign one of the board members or me as a manager and get off.
Is she on?
Oh, there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that works.
And
Oh,
I
good.
think we could turn off the recording. Still,
Oh, yeah.
Turn off the
Hold on.
please.
It is recording.
Why don't you get back on? Get
Let's
off and on.
whose computer are you guys on?
We're on
Scott's.
Scott's.
Scott, I'm going to send you my generic Zoom link, and we'll get on Zoom
Okay.
real quick.
Okay.
Give me like 30 seconds, and I'll send you
Okay.
my Zoom link.
Thank you.
okay.
Get off
Yep.
there. That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes, right? All the big hot shots.
Just what you expected, right?
Not quite.
There, I don't want to repeat what I'm hearing, but from these guys, but they're saying some really weird shit.
Oh, I know. I've been.
$250,000.
What?
We've never had that much money in our budget.
No, it goes back 10 years.
But that's, what's his name?
Are they contacting the Department of Justice about that?
They should contact their attorneys, is what they better do.
Yeah.
They keep that shit up.
I agree.
They're trying
And you
to-
can't leave, you
they're trying
two
to
guys.
destroy
Do you
somebody.
hear me, Lucky? You can't. No, you gotta stay.
Yeah. Well, you got people that want to get on. We'll see.
I'm gonna have James Conley come on.
Well,
I'm gonna talk to him.
they sent the thing out. Let's see if Numbnuts over here, he won't go on the board. We just buried these guys because they didn't come to this meeting. And they
What
won't-
happened with your good friends who,
And- I
knew about it.
Bob, what's his name?
And they won't
Right?
get on the board. And,
Right.
and as Brad said, oh, well, you got to have a special meeting.
Yeah, he's
And-
telling us what to
And
do.
Alana told him to pound sand. She said, no, you can come to the board meeting. Come on, let's go. What I wanted to do if it really
Wait,
got, just like I was talking about.
Alana said, "Did it work?" What is that?
She hadn't said it yet, I don't think.
No, Alana just sent something a minute ago saying, "Did it work?"
Oh, probably.
Say no. No.
Oh,
Oh,
she wanted to know if we stayed
Just-
on. If we stayed on.
say
Say, see,
it was
we're going,
Okay.
it was recorded.
Say we're
Just
going-
say it was recorded.
say we're going to Zoom.
We're going to Zoom. Just tell her it's going
No.
to Zoom.
Because Lindsay,
Would you like red or white wine?
I'll have white.
It's cheap.
You didn't have to tell me
It's not
that.
really
You didn't have to
expensive.
tell me that. You could have given me anything and said, this is straight from Napa Valley. Here, have some wine. It's cheap. Jeez.
Did you notice my response? Do you remember our last meeting where we talked about where Lindsay specifically said that both of our terms were up?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I put it in the
I saw
minutes.
that. Yeah.
And then when the announcement went out that there's only
I
one
knew
seat,
that was wrong, but that's.
I was like, either,
Either we're both gone or we're both in, right?
well, I'm gone. My wife has required it.
I understand. No, I understand. You did a good job. I understand.
Well, I've been on this board before,
I'm glad you're here. Thank
so,
you.
and I
You want some
told,
bread?
I'm gonna pass. I still got work to do when I get up, but thank
Hey,
you.
this isn't bad, girl.
Well,
It's not bad.
not.
Sweet.
Unless you have some good
Is this
tequila.
Chardonnay?
You have tequila?
I said, unless you have good tequila.
Is this Chardonnay?
No, I don't drink Chardonnay.
Oh, it's white wine. It's
It's
Italian or something.
Pinot Grigio.
So we haven't
Okay.
gotten anything yet.
From Lindsay?
She
Yeah,
said
it's got a
she's
little
taking
bite on
it.
it. It's pretty good. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's got a little fizz in it.
But what
You're
I
not-
did
you're not
want
drinking? Are you
to.
drinking?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna get
Hold
some
on a
more.
second.
I drank, well, I was waiting to
Okay.
see all the,
Here
well,
we go.
did
Here,
you see?
here we go.
Okay.
See, what if these guys would have shown up, what I wanted to do is say, okay, let's stop with the shit going back and forth.
What
Just
what
like
specifically?
I told Lindsay, you pick out a couple things that you want. We don't need an auditor in here. We'll give you this shit. Take a look.
Right.
Here's the invoice. Here's the payment. Nobody's
Okay.
playing games.
But I told you what the issue was. I
Okay.
found
Oh, I
out.
know what the issue.
Hey, Lindsay.
Oops. Hey.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
I'm back.
Okay.
Hey, Lindsay, can you, the main thing I wanted to just have a little bit of time to discuss is the proposed budget for next year.
Yeah.
Could you share your screen with that one document?
Yep. 1 second. Oh,
Okay, I don't have it. It's on.
I think I'm gonna have to let you. Let me see. Let me see if it'll let me on here. Oh yeah, 1 sec. It will let me.
It's the.
I don't know what's wrong
wanted
with
to-
my main computer screen today.
I wanted to
But
see the FY 23
Yeah, I got
and
that.
year to date.
I got that.
It's just, if she just shares that one document that has year to date,
I got it.
yep,
FY
I'm getting
23
there.
and FY 24.
Damn
Just
I
gotta
kind of
share my
like seeing the
screen
numbers
here.
next to each
Oh,
other.
well, wait,
Well,
maybe I
that's
can
me
get
too.
mine.
it.
I can get mine.
There we go. Okay. Let's see if this works. My computer screen is not working well today. Oh wait. No, that is not what I wanted to do.
I'm playing around with it.
You
You're talking
can't
the
see my,
2024
can you
one?
see this
Okay.
now?
23, 24.
Oh, here
Yeah,
it is.
can you see it though?
No,
I got it.
no.
Here.
Okay, Barbara has it. As long as you're looking at it, Lindsay.
Yes, I have it pulled up on my
there,
computer.
There
I
we
don't-
go. But you can't make that any bigger.
I don't think it's fixing
Here,
it.
honey.
Oh, you can see it now?
I can see it, but it's just like this narrow rectangle. Like, can you make it full screen?
Why is this backward?
Can I share? Hold on, let me share this with you on my main computer so that you can bring it up too.
Yeah, because
Well, I got it. Okay.
that's fine.
Because sharing screen, I can't zoom in, but if I share this budget, then you guys can make
That-
it as big as you
Here.
want to.
That's fine. We have it right now. Barbara has it on her tablet, so it's okay.
Perfect. Okay, awesome, because I have it on my screen.
Why did you print it out
Yeah,
that
so I
way?
think we just need to decide.
Well,
Yeah. Okay,
okay, same thing.
go ahead and if you, also, do you want me to kind of go through it with you guys?
Well,
I
there's,
don't know if you need to walk us through it so much as if we can ask some specific questions about certain
Yes.
items. So one question I had is you shared an estimate with us for replacing the 9 trees in the square park. So I just wanted to clarify, first of all, that the homeowners association is responsible for planting trees on the boulevards there. Is that clear as day, or is it muddy?
So what we need to do, or what we can attempt to do. So here's our 2 options. Because I talked to Alex at the city again about his, if we buy the trees at a discounted rate, they're not going to be the bigger trees like we like to get from Hillside. They buy the 1 inch instead of the 2 inch, which is funny because the city actually requires 2 inch. completely understand that. But they're selling us 1-inch trees. But if we buy their trees and go on their timeline, they will plant them free of charge. He said they cannot guarantee the amount of trees and timeline for next year. But if we want to try to get them done next year and have them pay for the planting, we can. And then as a backup, we could put them in.
Who are you getting the trees from? Is this the people?
It was Hillside.
Hillside.
This estimate's from Hillside, and it is one of the vendors that the city uses for their, when they give out coupons. But I think we could wait and see, like, if we can. I just put it in there as a.
It's not in here.
It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. That's why I asked the question.
Oh, in the 24, I only put in 3,500.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I figured we could at least replace part of them next year and part the year after. The other nice thing is
I don't think that's good.
Yeah, let's say it's 9 trees.
I
think we should just do all 9 if.
Okay.
So can we at least strike an agreement with the city where if we buy the trees, will they plant them? Because
we can try that.
Well, because their planting costs shouldn't change whether it's a 1-inch tree or 2-inch tree.
I agree. Okay. Yes.
Yes, let me reach out and ask if we can do that.
Because that would save us probably a third of the cost.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might be close to a half.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
The last few bids I've seen, I feel like the planting and the tree are almost the same cost.
I think you're right.
I think you're right. Yes.
So if you could reach out to the city
I'll
and say,
reach out to Alex.
Listen, we'll pay for the owners association will pay for the 9 trees if the city plants them.
Okay, and that we need to share at the Zoom meeting in November. Yeah. That we need to share.
Or how much
they cost, and that the city. So that's important to ask the city. Number one, to ask. Okay, so that therefore this budget is not okay yet.
So when people ask, and I got asked this by Bob, my neighbor, the other day, one of the rabble rousers. He said, "Well, so is the owners association responsible for planting boulevard trees in the park?" And I said, "Well, I need to check because I'm unclear on that."
So is the answer yes? We are.
I have yes. So I have I forwarded it to you guys. You may not remember 4 months ago.
Yep.
We asked this question. Remember when we were asked that by Brad? That was his big thing. Why are we replacing trees? Those are cities.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lindsay just dropped off.
I know. I love this. I hate these effing stuff. I'm telling you.
Don't you think it's convenient though?
No,
you don't have to
I
get
do
in your
not.
fucking car and drive all over the
No.
place.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I think they're generally convenient.
You do.
I usually don't have problem with Zoom.
No, I think everybody's really getting used to it. I'll tell you that.
I don't know why I can't.
You disappear.
I can't see you right now for some reason.
That's okay. You disappear.
But you were just reminding us of an email that you sent to the board clarifying what the city said about our obligation.
Actually, I thought it was just a bid.
So,
so that's
for replacing the trees.
Tree replacement.
Although
Wait, hold on.
they will pay for the planting if we are patient and want them replaced right away.
Well,
it may take 1 to 3 years.
Yeah, we're not taking 3 years to do 9 trees. That's silly.
No, 9. That's crazy.
So another thing that we talked about a couple months ago. No, shoot, Lindsay, did you just disappear again?
Yeah, I just went off of my Wi-Fi at the house because I think there's something wrong with it. So now I'm just on my cell phone.
Okay,
that's fine.
So as long as we talked about now we can see you. Now we talked about providing a financial incentive for people to replace their boulevard trees. And more or less, like give or take 5, there were 98 missing boulevard trees. And what we talked about, we didn't formally vote on it, was maybe providing some sort of coupon for like $150 or something to replace half that number next year.
But the city does that.
No, they will not replace them.
They don't anymore?
Well,
No, they replaced my
At
tree.
the last, well, so if you get a voucher
Yeah.
and pay the voucher, they will come do it. But I just had the city on one of my HOA meetings last week for Flanders Mill. And he said that next year there's 200 total coupons that are going to be given out.
Exactly.
That is for HOAs, owners, citywide. That's literally insane.
which is ridiculous, and the city should have put it in their budget to provide more. So my point is, and maybe we can vote on this now, or maybe we can vote on it at the annual meeting. But what we talked about is maybe providing 50 vouchers of our own to Harvest Creek Owners Association to replace boulevard trees that have died or they were never planted.
Okay, I propose that we do that at the meeting, and that may be a plus to get more people in the Zoom meetings if we say that, and that we have an idea of how much the vouchers are going to cost.
Are you going to have the people vote on it, or we vote on it?
No, we're voting on.
I think we took their temperature on that
Yeah.
at last year's annual meeting.
Well, how much is the total for us?
Well, so what I suggested was, since we're missing about 198, that maybe we do 50 coupons for $150.
Yeah.
This year, so that'd be $7,500.
Plenty of money. We have plenty of
50
money. 50
coupons for $150.
Yeah, so that would be the max. That doesn't mean that we're going to be successful
for
in
trees for boulevards.
Correct. That's not for trees in people's lawns. That's for trees that go on boulevards.
But I think we should agree. Should we do that? But I don't think we should. We should say this and that it's going to happen, or tell the people at the November 1st meeting.
Well, we could vote for it and put it in the minutes right now. Now, what
do you think, though, with these guys already claiming everyone's doing things that they shouldn't, they're going to freak? I am worried.
Yes.
So what I'm wondering we should do is, what if Felicia uses our polling software? I think we have at least 450 emails. Out of the 530.
Of what?
We send a polling software saying the board would like to know if using part of our $120,000, towards beautifying the neighborhood via replacing boulevard trees at the expense of $7,500 for 50 vouchers would be acceptable, and then they can vote yes or no. Because then, instead of them saying the board did this, we could say, well, 75% of the people said yes, or at least we'd have numbers
But frankly, we did a show of hands at last year's annual meeting.
There were 20 people there.
Well, there were 20 people there, and you must be present to win.
That's true.
So first off, that approach is fine, but what happens is you start firefights because I said no, you said yeah. What the hell, So what are you thinking? Are you out of your mind? Blah blah blah.
Let
me suggest something. Let's put it down as a consideration in the minutes. Let's announce it at the meeting.
Right.
If we don't get any shit, we'll go with it.
Right. Because
if they want to talk about it and they want to chew it up,
so
we'll do it right there. But put it in the meeting that the board is strongly considering.
So what I would suggest though, at this point, is putting the $7,500 in the budget for FY24. We can do that right now.
We can always take it out.
Yeah.
We can always take it out.
Do you though?
Maybe not.
Because I feel like this would be a reserve expense, not budgeted. So I feel like we should
just leave it alone.
Oh God! Oh shit!
We'll take it out of our reserves.
Yeah.
If we do it.
Yeah, I agree.
But we're going to say it as a.
I agree with
board. One of the board's meeting at our last meeting, we had strong consideration because your discussions. We know there's issues with the trees, a big deal. We're going to take care of all this stuff, and our board's strong consideration is this, and we would like to hear from you because we're considering moving forward very soon. And we can take it out of our reserves. We don't have to put it in the budget where everybody starts asking about what's this, what's that.
And we have all winter to do this and to get it done.
So Lindsay, will this show up, say we do take it out of reserves, where does it show up in the profit loss?
Where's reserve? Reserve transfer.
It will show up in the profit and loss, but then at the bottom there will be a side note that says
cool.
that This
Oh,
7,500 for the trees was pulled out of reserves
Awesome.
and did not affect the budget.
Okay.
Because typically, Alana would say that non-reoccurring expenses should be reserve items. Annual reoccurring, which I have the 3,500, would be if we lose some more trees this
Gotcha.
winter and
Okay.
we're like, shoot.
I
think we
appreciate
need
the
to
whole
probably
approach
replace
here. I
four or
think
five.
being able to say that we're, as a board, strongly considering
Yep.
it and
Yes,
that we're going
exactly.
to move forward on it
Yeah.
unless we hear otherwise.
Agree. I
You
do
know,
not.
unless somebody goes
Yes.
absolutely cuckoo.
Right.
There's
Okay.
no reason not to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what's the exposure for the customer other than the planning? We're going to give them $150. Is that what you're saying?
So I think so for a good
So that's
size
the question I would have.
So here's the benefit of doing it this way. If a homeowner wants to get a fully grown tree, like a 500, not a fully grown, but
Well,
like
they
a
can
big
go
one
that-
for
they can go that way.
$500,
Go that way.
they can go that way. But then I think it's actually 50% of the cost of the tree is what planting
So it's
costs.
a buck and a half.
Yep.
So in that case, a $500 tree would be $750 total, and they could use the $150
But
$50.
if generally,
voucher for that. But if they just wanted to get a 2-inch tree,
it's a buck and a half.
yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
That will be a
I agree with
question.
that. I think,
Yeah.
and what will, if we do this, what will require is I would say a before and after picture of the boulevard, so that we can give them their 150, because we don't want to give them $150 preemptively.
No.
We want to see that they did the tree and
Right.
pay them correctly.
Well, we have the census that I did, so if people want to claim a voucher, their address should be on that
Oh,
census
you
that I
have
did.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I provided that
Okay.
to,
Oh, okay. Yep.
to everyone. It had it by street name.
Okay.
So
Yep.
if somebody's on Annie and they give you their address, you should be able to look at that
Okay.
census and say, "Yep,
Okay.
you're missing trees."
And,
Okay.
And you could say, and we could mention that too again
and,
in our meeting November 1.
and this,
We went through, we evaluated,
Okay.
this is it, and this is what we decided to do.
and a great man is a person who puts a tree in that will never enjoy the shade.
Exactly. This is true.
Right here. I got mine.
That's hilarious, Mike.
It's
I've
true.
never heard that before.
I've
Hilarious.
heard iterations of that, and I think it's very true.
Let's be the man who plants a tree but never enjoys the shade, like helping other people.
Okay, but we have another issue. Stormwater,
Yep.
the stormwater, where is it?
Stormwater
It's right
maintenance.
Why did we pay that much money for stormwater maintenance this year?
Remember, you guys approved that bid from Bozeman Site Services
Oh, was that what that was?
to do the Oak Pond.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that
That
other,
was, it actually came in a little bit less than they thought it was, so we kind of came out a little bit ahead. They thought it was going to be closer to 9, and it came in at 77.
Okay.
so that's not really stormwater, it's other things, right?
Well, that was.
Well, no,
that
that's
was
what the
after-
city considered the stormwater maintenance, is those ponds.
Well, it's a necessary evil, right? I mean,
So my thought is we have money going into the reserve. We put 5,000 in the budget, and then if it goes over that, it's pulling out of the reserve.
Okay,
Because we have plenty of reserve monies for
okay,
that.
so that's a done deal. That's paid, that's over with.
Yep.
Okay, so that makes the difference, okay. Now we have a
And
lot
then,
of postage and whatever.
Getting in the weeds now.
Why don't we just?
Yeah, let's just. I just wanted to raise like the bigger items. I didn't want to
Okay.
go over every single
But
one.
what about snow removal? What, and
we've talked
that
about this
needs to,
before.
why do we did talk about it before, but I think we should bring that up at the meeting, is why we're paying 22,000 plus
Well,
for snow
actually,
removal.
this is a question I got from a homeowner the other day. For our snow removal, do we pay a set fee, or is it per snowfall over 3 inches or whatever? How does that work? Like if we get a, if we sign a contract and we don't get any snow, are we still obligated?
Who gives a rat's ass?
No, we're so lucky with this contractor. I actually have tried to get them to do other
Talked
neighborhoods
about this
because
yesterday.
I sent you guys those bids. I
Yeah.
mean, we're like 2,000 to 4,000 a plow with those other companies I forwarded you guys.
Yeah, no,
So
I
we
know.
have this like rare unicorn. It's so cheap. But at the same point, I would say the hottest ticket item at Harvest, besides this little group, is it does create berms, and
I'm sorry about that.
It's what?
That's the way life is.
It is the
Creates
way life
berms. I
is.
mean, shit.
Oh, so, okay.
Get a fucking
Okay.
shovel out.
So we're going to, I mean, that, and we need to tell the people why we do that though.
Just
Why we do
So-
that?
so
Create berms?
wait. So
Yeah, and
Go somewhere.
just hold on a second, Lindsay. If you could answer my original question. So do we pay them? Is it just for snowfall over 3 inches?
Yep,
Is that what it is? It's 3 inches or more?
only for. We
And
have
then-
it at 3.
This price of $25,000, I'm going to assume it's a sunk cost, and they come when we call them. It's not like, oh, gee, we didn't get 3 inches, so we're not paying you this month. Am I right? It's like a contract.
Well,
We lost.
It's a contract, yes, and then they send us. You'll see if you like went and looked in December or January on their invoice. It has the date, the price, and how many inches. A lot of my other HOAs use Harvest Creek as a positive example for why they think their HOA needs to have snow removal.
But-
It actually, Harvest Creek was an example at my meeting last week because they want their roads to look like
Well,
Harvest
one of
Creek's
the- just a second.
roads.
I think one of the things that's consistent, that number rarely changes, right? That 25 grand.
It literally has not. We'll go over a little bit this year, but not a lot. I'm actually shocked that we're only at this number because we had so much snow this
Last
last
year,
winter.
Yeah.
So you're right, it's variable.
We
It-
may
it
end
does
up being a little over, but we
Yeah, I
could
would-
make that number higher if you want to.
I would comment on that it's variable, but historically, we've been on that number for years. So if you're
Yep.
if you're not
Is that
giving
the
any
only,
money off
is that
the
the
top,
only thing
we'll be
here,
okay.
Scott? Was
Yeah,
it,
I
was
think
it the
that,
landscape?
so-
I mean-
yeah, that was one other question I had. So do you guys have more conversation about the snow
No,
pond?
no,
Let's not open it up
No.
to like, I don't want to do a poll as
No.
to like, do
What,
homeowners
about
want
snow
to continue?
removal?
well, they're
Yeah.
gonna wonder why we're paying 22,000 when the city cleans our streets.
Oh, bullshit.
That's
So
fine.
you
They
turn
can
it over to the
do-
city and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
The board's
Yeah.
not gonna go with that.
But like,
Not why I'm
listen,
gonna.
No, I had
exactly,
some- well,
Fuck
exactly.
that, I'm not doing that. You wanna
I
get out
had
your car
somebody
out?
go to the city and look up the number
Yeah,
of
forget
times
it.
No,
they
no,
plowed
no,
Harvest
that's
Creek
okay.
They're
last year.
underwater. It's
Five.
gonna get worse. I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta, look,
But they did plow it 5 times.
well, cool.
I mean, we had, snow since October
We
last year.
like our neighborhoods
Yeah.
the way they are,
Yes,
okay?
I
Let the
agree.
city go
I
away.
agree.
And so the other big question is, we talked about maybe doing some different landscaping on the boulevard on Durston. And I don't know if we ever got an
Do you want to
estimate.
know what the number?
What was the number?
So
Yes,
the
we
guy
did.
that did 27th. I almost fell off my chair. I'm in the wrong industry. That little section of 27th. Do you want to know how much the city paid for that?
Well, first of all,
How much? How much?
$270,000.
no, wait a second though. Wait a second.
That's what he told me.
I'm guessing that's to put in all the concrete curbing and like
Nope.
start.
No, that
It was all there.
It's all
The
about
concrete curbing was
said-
there
It's all
Wait
about
a
moving-
second. That is just,
on
Moving
27.
dirt, moving dirt,
Moving dirt.
That
moving
is
dirt.
you're freaking
that
kidding
is
me.
what
No.
the no.
Look,
Because
Look, the
I
city-
asked him.
the
I
city
said I
wants
want
to
to
put in
know
these
how
kind
much
of
that
plans,
cost.
right?
And he said, I don't think you want to know. And I said, no, I do, because I have an HOA that really wants to mimic it. And he said, 275 grand.
The other,
And that was for North
That he
27th.
said that only
yeah, but it's
to
new condos.
So that's between Oak and Baxter.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't even go. Does
Yeah.
it even go all the way to
No, it
Baxter?
doesn't go to
It's just-
Baxter.
it's just-
No.
It's Oak, it's between Oak and
That's
not
just-
even Durston.
That's just the vegetation
You got
management
it.
part.
You got it.
This was
Yes.
something the city wanted to do. He came in there and told him all this bullshit. He could do these wonderful flowers, and they just threw a check at him, and that's it. Now, look, I say if we want to ever do that,
I can do that.
couldn't believe
you
it.
Can
I
pay
mean-
me. I can do that.
I will do that too. I'll work with you.
I'll do that.
if we ever want to do that, right now the atmosphere is not right.
No,
No,
if that's the cost, I wouldn't
No.
do it.
No, it's
No.
just not a
No.
good time to talk about that.
no.
We're going
You're
basic
right.
right now.
You're right.
No,
Okay.
and I think we just had another HOA run the calculations on it. They got the bid from the same company, and their board president is super into like studies.
Yeah.
it was going to be 35 years before they paid it off versus the cost of watering and mowing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I have
oh,
told,
yeah.
like, I've told my friends that are into this sort of thing,
Yeah,
like,
well,
if you really want to have a successful business, wait until the city requires xeriscaping, which they're going to do
And I'll give you credit.
sooner or later. But there's no company that's equipped to do
No.
all the work.
Right.
So
No, there is not.
whoever starts one and has the
Yeah.
plants and the labor,
Yeah.
you could freaking kill it.
Well, once you
well, I just did mine.
Okay, well, thank you. That's
That's
that-
it. That
I think
takes
that's good to
care.
know. Well, actually, I did have
Anyways,
one.
that was the most shocking thing I've heard in a long time. That's where our taxes are going, I guess.
Okay, the only other question I had, I asked Barbara before Mike got here. At one point a few months ago, you talked about lowering your fee per home. There was never any action taken on
We
it.
did lower it.
You did? So is that reflected?
We lowered it though.
Is that reflected in the budget for?
Yep.
Where is that?
What line would that be?
Property
The 30
management, bookkeeping.
37,656. So that's what we charged for all of
Okay.
23 and for all of 24. So we went from $7.50 a unit to $6 a
Oh,
unit.
there it is. They did.
Management fees were there.
This is 27,000. Okay,
That's how much you paid to date, though.
right, that's a
Yeah.
to-date one. So that's, you got to put
There's
another
a-
quarter in this.
So there should be,
So there's
somewhat-
10 more thousand. There's more than 10,000 in this one.
wait a minute. So
20, this one is right here.
yeah, no, I see it. This is this year so far.
No, yeah, and we have another quarter.
So
Yeah.
September, October, November, December, 3 more months.
so it's about 9 or
October,
10,000
November,
that's going to be added.
So it'll be, but it's about the same amount of money.
Well,
It's $1.50 less.
the reason I'm asking this, Lindsay's gone now. Jesus Christ. The reason I'm asking this question is if Saddle Peak Properties is lowering their fees per home, it should be broadcast at
Yes,
the
I
annual
agree.
meeting.
Right, tell
Because
her that.
they actually said, the rabble rattlers said that they raised their fee.
Well, we did at one point because we had to do the stormwater drainage, but they weren't tuned into that.
No,
The
we actually
city made-
lowered the dues and
Yeah, right.
the
Right.
management fees being lowered. So
Well,
people
we
need to
did. Yeah,
people need to know that because
You know,
the homeowners that
I
attend these
understand.
meetings don't know that.
no,
But
but
you know,
I agree with you.
Great way to start the conversation is we all pay $25 a month.
Is that what
Where do you
we
want to
pay?
go with, yes.
Yeah, which is so low.
So
I
where do you
mean,
want to go with that? Where do you want to go with that? You want her to lower her fee so we can pay $24.50 a month?
I know.
It's bullshit. It's just,
And we're not being paid for anything, and I think we should say, would you like, no.
Yeah,
I swear
put
to
it in
God.
there. Put it in the budget.
I
10 grand each.
make $50 an hour.
Yeah.
Do you think you want to do that?
It's unbelievable. This whole thing's unbelievable.
Right.
What?
All I'm saying, Lindsay, is when we present the budget to homeowners, I want
This is,
I want the management fee, like if indeed it's being lowered, it needs to be visible somewhere.
visible.
I'll put a note
Make it
on the
visible.
agenda that says, or we can just talk about it. I don't know where to put it, but yes, our fee was lowered January 1st of 2023.
Of 2000 when?
23.
I thought so. Well, you need to,
I
yes, we need
Yeah,
to say
I-
that. Yeah.
I lowered it all year this year. And it's funny because this year has taken 500 more hours of my time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well,
I think
we're-
it's karma. I was like, oh God, it kind of just flows. And now, I'll lower my fee. And boy, did that come.
well, look at the
kick me in
bright
butt.
side,
But that's
Lindsay.
okay.
At least you're getting paid, unlike us.
yes,
That's true.
we're gonna
Um,
we're charging $50 an hour for our time,
No,
by
I'm
the
just
way.
charging $150 per board
Per
member
board
for a
member.
dinner at
For-
Feast.
For dinner at
Yeah.
Feast, that's what we're
I should
doing.
give you a glass of wine. What the hell?
So I feel like, I think this budget is good to go as is. I think it looks really good. I think, I found out something from Alana, Scott. So she said that everyone in Harvest Creek, when they get voted on, it's a 3-year term. So the plus side is there's not 2 open board positions. We just have to replace you, and the board chooses your replacement.
Okay.
But you're here.
So that's a conversation that
Okay, we can take James Connolly if we could.
have. Yes, so you could have James on the board.
I'll
and you know
have James
what?
on the
Maybe-
board, and
I
maybe that'll,
think-
yes, I like him.
I think smart, and I think it would be extremely eye-opening for him
Yes, I agree.
to see that happens and how things work and what the back end of this
I
sometimes
agree.
hell looks
I
like.
agree. I agree.
And he's the most sane one of all of them, so I just think that would be a good move.
I agree.
So do I need at the annual meeting or thereabouts, do I need to submit
No,
an
just
email
shut up.
of resignation?
Just shut up.
I could just shut up, but
Wait
like,
until she just sent out a call letter to have people put their names in the hat. So let's see what happens.
I'm going to ask James Connolly.
Yeah, so
When is our next?
yeah, so you guys, the annual meeting is November 1st, so
We need to have
You'll just
another,
need
we
to
have to
submit
have
your
an
resignation.
October meeting.
Scott?
Yeah. October meeting, we need.
yes, 100%. And maybe Scott submits his resignation, and then at the October meeting, in the minutes, you can say
Right.
that Scott has submitted his resignation, and James Connolly will be taking over the remainder
Right.
of the 2-year
so
term.
when would my resignation be as of
November 1st.
November 1st?
The October meeting, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I
that he
have a
would
question
take
on that
over.
because I have a question on that because one of the bitches that these guys had was that we never got a quorum enough to let people vote on who's.
Well, we don't.
Well, wait a minute. What would happen if we do that? And they say, well, we never, they started bitching about somebody else should be counting the ballots and all this other bullshit. And it's like, well, are we ever going to get there, Lindsay?
No.
On
No.
Zoom? On
No.
Zoom?
No.
On Zoom?
No.
Okay. All right.
We'll
you
be
can appoint
closer,
somebody.
but we'll never hit it. And
Okay.
I have beat poor Alana to death, beat the horse to death about this because I've asked her over and over because every association of ours this happens in.
Yeah.
What she says is exactly what we followed.
Okay.
She's like, that is exactly what the Nonprofit Act states. If you do not have a quorum, you do a mail vote, and you go from there. And she's like, that is the legal thing to do. And
Yeah.
that's why I think if somebody had that question at the annual meeting, Alana can answer it
Good.
very clearly and in 2 seconds.
Is she going to sit in?
Okay, now, we'll have a meeting with us. How about on October 18th? Wednesday, you guys? Is that good?
Are you home though, Mike?
Yeah, I'll be on here on the 18th.
Yeah,
for sure.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check.
I don't get
Yes.
back till
Oh.
midweek, but mid-month.
Hold on. I could.
Pick a date.
I'm picking a date,
Meeting at
October
4.
18th.
I have an annual meeting at 5 that day. Can we meet at 3 that day so I'm
No.
done by 5?
That's
Is
fine.
that enough time?
3 o'clock. That's
October
more
18th,
than
3
enough
3
time.
p.m.
Well,
Right.
you're zooming everything. Okay. Cool.
Are we zooming?
So she's going to zoom on.
No, we'll do it in person at Barbara's at 3,
Yeah.
but my meeting
Okay.
at 5 is on Zoom, so that'll be fine.
Okay.
So, can you guys reply then, just so I have it in writing, that we can go ahead and send everything to
I already
InstaPrints?
did. Go ahead.
Did you?
Yep.
Send out
Okay.
okay,
She wants you to say, go ahead and send it out.
okay.
Is Alana going to attend the big meeting?
Yeah,
Have we done that before?
I think, no, but
No.
I think, well, I mean, we
I'm
don't have
okay
to have
with
her
it.
there,
No,
I guess.
I'm okay with it. I'm just asking. I think it's a good
She
idea. actually,
attends a lot of our meetings, just depending on
the situation.
it's nice to have somebody there that can so quickly, like what James's question was today.
Yeah.
Alana can answer it to the book. She can tell you even what section of the Nonprofit Act you can find it in, and it calms people down greatly.
Well, that's kind of
And-
why I wanted to have this meeting today, but none of these guys showed up to get straighten it out right now. But it's just they just keep throwing bombs, and that's all they do. So
I just feel like a very stern letter needs to go out to that group now in writing from Alana saying
you weren't here.
the board
Yeah.
bent over backwards,
Thank you.
spent time,
Yes.
paid an accountant and an attorney for your requested meeting. And what I would say is you no longer get any requested meetings. That was your chance. And you cost the association probably $600 today. And I think it speaks volume in the fact that they're unfortunately keyboard warriors and they have a hard time facing. It's like why, I mean, like Barbara and I have always said, those guys don't say a word at the annual meetings. They hide behind their keyboard, but in person they're terrified.
Well,
So I feel like
motivation's a
Alana
funny
should write
thing. It
something to
must
them
make
saying like,
must make them feel powerful to do shit like that. But I still go back to my premise. We only pay $25 a month. I don't give a shit about. All I care about is the snow and the trees.
I think if I'm at that meeting, I'm going to say, by the way, I think the board members should should pay, maybe.
I mean, paying $25 a month, the association has gone from $20,000 in January of 2020 to $127,000.
I mean,
in September of 23. That's pretty remarkable, to be honest. That's a lot of savings.
Yeah, and it's just for your efforts and the board. At least these two people. I don't know what I do, but I mean, it's really great.
I mean, we're there. I have you in here in 21.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me ask you something. Should we approach Alana about drafting up that letter, or would you kind of touch base with her, or how do you think we want to handle that?
Drafting up which letter?
After those assholes to tell them.
I think that they need to be told in writing that we spent money today and had their demanded meeting. Right. And I think that it can be said too, if they complain at the annual meeting, we had a special meeting for them to answer all their questions and not one of them showed up.
Are you going to
Are you
going to ask Alana to send that, or do we have to do that? I mean, I don't care.
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's Alana's job.
Okay, we'll do that.
We have to send.
Absolutely, we'll do that. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But she needs to put it in writing because I think this has been a lot of BS for them to not show up today.
Yes, it was. And you can tell that to your
effing neighbors. You can use a lot of the, the poop emoji that you can use. We can sign the letter, eat, and have like 10 poop emojis, the Harvest Creek board.
I have never heard such savage accusations in my life. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
They're blowing it up, man, but that's cool.
No,
But you know what? They're not gaining any traction.
No.
And I think that's helping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we've had some nice people ask to apply for the board, so I think that's good.
Good.
Maybe I'll find my replacement.
Yeah. No.
Awesome.
No,
yeah. Thank you guys so much.
We'll find somebody else to nag.
No. Bye, Lindsay.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm going next year. Actually, my kids are going to say, Mom, you got to be kidding me.
I will be a special volunteer in the board.
You'll change your mind.
I cannot.
No, I doubt very much I will.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'm hoping now that
it's mainly my wife.
We breach this, that things get back to normal. Now, I may never breach with these guys, but they're done. This cooked them right here. Calling that meeting was brilliant because I knew they wouldn't show up. My wife said